explain a lot better than I could, so I'm glad if you please do that. No problem.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm Rod Harvey with Conibear Associates. We're an environmental consulting firm that is based in Chicago. What we did was took tests for methane and hydrogen sulfide at 3 different locations inside Cortland School and 1 location on the south side of the school. Methane, we saw no real significant levels of methane in any of those locations outside or inside. Hydrogen sulfide, there were 3 areas inside, of the 3 areas inside the school, 2 of them had hydrogen sulfide above the limit of detection of the method that was used. One of those was about 0.014 parts per million, one was about 0.008 parts per million. That's 8 parts per billion or 14 parts per billion, so it gets a little confusing. Outside the school, it was about 0.08 parts per million, or about 10 times higher than it was inside the school. So that tells us, yes, there was some hydrogen sulfide detected inside of the school in 2 of the 3 locations. It is much less than outside the school, which would point to a probable outside source for that hydrogen sulfide that was inside the school. Although based on the testing we did, we can't eliminate any contribution from potential indoor sources. But it was much higher outdoors than indoors. The Illinois Department of Public Health is on record as saying they would like to keep hydrogen sulfide, or they recommend hydrogen sulfide levels stay below 0.01 parts per million. We were at 0.014, 0.0081, and the one that was below the limit of detection, I think the limit of detection was 0.004. So.
But outside we were 0.082.
Correct. Correct.
10 times higher.
10 times what was inside. 10 times what Illinois Department of Public Health says should be indoors. So don't.
Okay.
The Illinois Department of Public Health recommendations for indoor hydrogen sulfide.
Do they have recommendations for outdoor?
Illinois Department of Public Health does not.
Okay.
And with hydrogen sulfide, there are no standards in the United States for outdoor levels. The World Health Organization makes some recommendations for outdoor levels. Hydrogen sulfide can be very, very toxic at higher concentrations. It can be very irritating at lower concentrations. But it is one of the chemicals out there that has a very distinct, noxious odor at levels typically below what you would consider to be the standard levels. Illinois Department of Public Health has picked 0.01 parts per million because that's about the odor threshold for most people. And they feel if you're smelling it, it means it's there. You should take some corrective action to get rid of it. There's kind of a lack of standards, if you will, on outdoor levels of hydrogen sulfide. There are indoor levels, primarily regulatory levels. They come from OSHA. OSHA says 20 parts per million over a half-hour period. There are other occupational health organizations which develop guidelines. They don't do standards. OSHA is a regulation, it's a law. These other agencies are typically down around 10 parts per million for an occupational setting. We never would recommend occupational levels for an indoor setting that wasn't related to the occupational exposure. Schools, residences, hospitals, whatever the case may be, is always typically much lower. In this case, 0.01 from the Illinois Department of Public Health versus the 10 or 20 from the regulatory agencies. That was the results in a nutshell.
There was other recommendations for tests that you.
Yeah, we came out and tested on one particular day at one particular time. We took a snapshot. Probably the levels of hydrogen sulfide, now that we know that there are levels that are measurable in the school, at least they were on that day, vary over time depending on weather conditions, depending on what the sources are, things like that. The day we were there was a northerly component to the wind, which is blowing from the school to the landfill. I can't make any kind of comment or conclusion on the results that we got, what the source of the hydrogen sulfide is. I know there is a point source within the vicinity of the school. But I don't know, I haven't done the research, I don't know what other potential sources of hydrogen sulfide may be outside the school or inside the school.
Are there ways of being able to tell where it's coming from?
Yes, and that's, I think, what Don was getting at. We recommended additional testing over time, a series of tests under different wind regimes, which would be helpful under different weather conditions, and also on all 4 sides of the school. We tested, obviously, our concern that day was the landfill, and we tested the south side of the school, and we went over what the results were. But I think if the first step would be to do a review of the area. What are other potential sources? Are there commercial agriculture sites? Are there wastewater treatment sites? Are there any, we have very limited petroleum production in Illinois, but we do have some coal production, obviously in the south, but it's possible there's something up here of that nature. There's other potential sources. There's also sources inside the school. We've talked with Don about going through all of the rooms that we tested and had sinks. If sinks don't get used frequently, the P-traps dry out, the sewer gas comes back through. It's another possibility. We need to do process of elimination and get rid of all potential sources. And then if we do that type of testing and do that kind of review, we should generate data, which A, will let us know more accurately what the chronic or consistent level of hydrogen sulfide is in the school, and then start to eliminate other sources and start to pinpoint probable sources.
In your professional opinion, this outdoor level of .081, would you recommend corrective action for that level? What would that be? Is that
I can't recall
healthy
the outdoor level.
Okay.
It's higher than a typical urban setting. It appears to be a source of hydrogen